daily soccer podcast with the Global Sports Podcast Network.
Hello everyone and welcome back to another episode of the Daily Manchester United podcasts. I'm your host for this episode, Niall Hannigan, and I'm back with familiar face, familiar voice, Kieran McGinley. Kieran, welcome to the episode. How are you this evening?
Still reeling from from yesterday's episode, that's for sure. I think I've calmed down a lot more, but I'm just as scathing. So good time to record, I think.
Yeah, it's a rough one. You know, you'd nearly rather be in that scathing mood. This kind of lull midweek where you have time where it sinks in. It's almost worse in a way where you're going over and obviously reminiscing in the past, but going over the result of the weekend and then trying to get optimistic for the weekend, knowing that it probably just won't turn around. But anyway, let's see what happens. It's the 30th of September. You know what that means. It's Player of the Month time. And that's what we're going to discuss today. We saw Man United have started to put out their poll for Player of the Month. Surprised they were going ahead with it this month, Kieran. But they've somehow found a couple of nominations. Obviously, Mbeumo won August. Were you happy with that?
Oh, very happy. I mean, he's been a bright spark in this one. So fully deserved the August award. I think September's going to be, well, I would say closer, but not for good reasons. More like there was the game against Chelsea where, you know, that's really where Fernandes and Dorgu really made their mark in the game. And then you've got Sesko with a red card assist. Is that such a thing these days? But anyway, his header on, and also he scored his first goal. But I think that's more like the what do you call it? You know how you've got like the chairman's award for most improved player, you know, and you're like underages, like the under 9s, under 10s. That's the sort of, we've put him there because, well, you know, look, he's improving. Look, come on, give him a pat on the back. So I would probably say it's between Fernandes and Dorgu going into this. And do you know what? I think out of all of them, Dorgu's been the most consistent. I've loved him down the left wing. As I've been saying, the one thing he's lacking at the moment is the crossing, that sort of final third. But up and down that wing, he's you know, making it his own at the moment. Just needs to add a little bit more consistency, and maybe have 10 other people playing with him on the pitch. Other than that, I think he's been good. I think for me, Dorgu would get my vote.
Yeah, I don't hate it. There's been Dorgu, I've seen online, he's been getting a bit of abuse, mainly about the final third, but I just don't know how you could throw any shade towards Dorgu at all, to be honest, like considering the performances the whole team are putting out. I think I agree with you. I have great time for him. Such a young player, has a good attitude. You know, that's the bar at the moment. Like, are you trying hard? If you're trying hard and you're putting in a shift for the team, like you're getting nominated for Player of the Month.
Yeah.
I find it funny on the website as well. You know, normally we judge players on goals and assists. We've got appearances / assist or a goal. So we've got Dorgu with three appearances this month and 1 assist. We've got Bruno with 3 appearances as well, which is great. And then we've got Sesko with 3 appearances. So we're absolutely stat padding here at the moment with these brackets beside their name. But
don't forget as well, Bruno Fernandes got the man of the match in the Chelsea game. So hey,
yeah, I mean, it could be miss of the match. I don't know in the penalties, but we'll go for man of the match. Interesting one, but yeah, I mean, Dorgu, we've mentioned it before. It is just that final third, and the annoying thing about this system is that because the wing backs are so important to it, they actually end up a lot of the time as the highest players in the final third. So he's going to need to improve it a lot because there's a lot riding on him of being able to provide those opportunities for the likes of Sesko. So let's see what happens. But yeah, he came in under the radar in terms of a transfer, and you know, you probably wouldn't have said that he's going to be a mainstay in the team, but he's done it himself, and he's backed himself, and he's been able to to keep his spot in there, but I think it says more about the rest of the squad than it does about Dorgood, that he's just kind of waltzed into that position and there's absolutely no competition for him, and he's just absolutely nailed down the spot. So yeah, I'd probably have to vote for him as well. But I mean, Sesko got off the mark here, and do you think that's I can't even say it, like, but do you think that that's going to like open the floodgates when it comes to Sesko kind of kicking off his United career?
Yeah, well, we saw a false dawn with Højlund, didn't we,
We did.
last season? And we sort of thought that when he scored, it was like, oh, yes, this is it now. He'll get a hatful. I think he got 3 more in the Premier League for the rest of the season. So I don't get my hopes up too much when he faces Sunderland. I'm hoping that he can. I'm obviously hoping he can get some, because what we desperately need is a striker and a striker in form. This system depends on a striker in form, and if that doesn't happen, then the goals kind of dry up like they have. I mean, we were top of the XG table when we came up against City, because you'll never sing that. So it is creating chances. We're just not being clinical enough, and not only that, but the chances that are against us, because we're so easily caught on the counter attack, they are very, I wouldn't say they're very easy chances, but they're certainly high in XG. If you are an XG believer, you're looking at there is such a thing.
People out there.
But if you're looking at that sort of stats side as an idea as to how good these chances are, how clear cut those chances are, that's where we're falling apart. Is although we've got 3 at the back, we are conceding some very easy chances to concede from, and this is the problem. Like when Maguire got caught out in 2 minds of whether he was going to step up and trigger the offside trap or track Thiago. He got caught in 2 minds, as Peter Crouch was saying on the TNT Sports coverage, and because of that led to Thiago beating the offside trap and just being able to run in behind. So yeah, that's an individual mistake, and I've seen De Ligt speaking to the press, speaking to the media, saying it's all well and good criticising the manager, but at the end of the day, it's the player performances. And Mbermo, speaking with Sky Sports, has also said the same thing. So I wonder how much of it is the players sort of saying, right, we've got to take the brunt of this, or if it's just Amrim just sneaking them a 20 quid, be like, oh, go on, have this interview and tell them how good I am.
Yeah, it's a tough one. I mean, I do believe that the players need to take way more responsibility when it comes to this stuff as well. They're like, on paper we shouldn't be 14th, to be honest. Like, we do kind of say we don't have enough quality, but we shouldn't be 14th. There's enough talent there. There's enough firepower in the front 3 from even just the signs that we've made, particularly in Mbomo and Cunha, Bruno in there as well. Yes, he's playing out of position, but there isn't really an excuse. There's international players all over the pitch, not many from England, not making the England squads anymore, but they're making plenty of other squads. And yeah, it is bad. I mean, when Jordan Henderson is splitting your defense apart with passes, you're in trouble. So yeah, it's a tough one to watch. But I don't even like the way they have a little blurb about the players of how they did this month as well. And talking about your chairman award, I mean, this is definitely a chairman award sentence for Sesko. It's also worth noting Sesko managed a couple of decent shots in the loss to City. Now that one's got a sting. That's a tough one. That is a tough one to take. That a few decent shots in an absolute drubbing against City gets you into a Player of the Month candidacy, and probably comes second in that vote. So
yeah,
it's a dire state of affairs, Kieran. But yeah, we're only just past September, and we've got a long season to go to follow these lads.
Not again. I'm getting deja vu now. Of when we were dreaming of international breaks. It's happened again.
I know. But everyone's getting good entertainment out of the episodes. Plenty of hate listens and hate watches going on. So we aim to please. That's what we do. So that's what we're here for. But we'll take a quick break there and be back with a bit more for this episode.
Your daily soccer podcast with the Global Sports Podcast Network.
Your body. Your body is unique. And Global Sports Podcast Network has partnered with Bioniq, the world's most personalised supplements. Bioniq provide 100% tailor-made supplements designed to deliver precisely what your body needs at exactly the right levels to optimise your health. No guessing. So click the link in the show notes. Use the code GSPN2025 for 40% off your first month's subscription. Bioniq. Don't settle for off-the-shelf solutions made for just anybody. Get what's right for you right now.
Your daily soccer podcast with the Global Sports Podcast Network.
Antony's been in the headlines again. Himself over in Real Betis. He's always called former Manchester United player rather than current Real Betis player, but he has been in the news. He's been across multiple kind of networks in the UK. It's been reported as well that he felt disrespected at United. And to be honest, training by yourself, and he said he was living away in a hotel as well in Manchester during that period. On a human level, it is tough. Like, it must be tough when you have so much pressure on you and you've come over with such a price tag, and it's not working for you on the pitch, and then you're just kind of shunned by the team and hope to kind of find a new home. But he's not happy. He's not happy with United, and he's definitely not the first one, Kieran.
And won't be the last, which is just going to be a pattern here. But it was always going to be a talking point when we signed Antony for the price tag that we did. And that's not his fault. You know, any price tag for a player is not their fault. It's not their doing. That's how much the club they were at are willing to part ways with them for. So if that turns out to be hundreds of millions, then that's what the teams agree on his valuation. But for that kind of money, we were expecting someone who was going to not only hit the ground running, but be able to change games on a whim. Mm-hmm. And although we had a couple of nice Antony spins, it wasn't what we needed. And here's the thing: if the Antony spin, he made that, but he was also scoring 20 goals a season.
Oh, could you imagine? Could you imagine the Brazilian edits like of
exactly,
that? Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. But because it didn't work, now he's going to be mocked mercilessly for it. What's the game? Is it the game against? Was it Chelsea? Where he's on the sideline. I'm trying to think which game it was. Social media will be able to pull up the picture. Absolutely. Yeah, and it's like it's the I'm him photo kind of thing. Where he's focused, laser focused. It might not be against Chelsea, but things like that. See, if he'd have scored a hat trick after that, totally different picture. That's like gets hung in the Hall of Fame of social media. But because it didn't work, he's going to get shunned for it. It's so easy, and it's so tip of a needle, a balancing act as to you've got the ego and you can back it up. But if you have the ego and it doesn't work, you look like you've got egg on your face.
Yeah, it is tough. Like, I mean, I'm just looking at it now. £82 million. Like, it's just a lot of money. I know the transfer market was a bit mental this year, but 2 years ago, £82 million. For kind of a player that we were hoping would work because he played with Ten Hag before, and just let's get everyone from Ajax in, like we've done this with Dutch players in the past with Van Gaal. Surely it's going to work. And yeah, it's a difficult one. I mean, some of the quotes from the interview that he had as well. Tough few months in England, more than 40 days in the hotel, training separately. I feel like they disrespected me, but that's not the point. I don't want to create any controversy. Well, Antony, you have, because you just said what you said 10 seconds beforehand. I mean, we probably could have all read into this that it's not an ideal situation for him to be in, but, I mentioned that on a human level, it must be tough, but also at a professional level, you have to have surely the desire to want to go and prove that you actually are worth it and that you can perform in the Premier League and that it's not just kind of successful in a couple of leagues around Europe. But it just never seemed to. It just never felt like it was ever going to work. It was that we've mentioned before, around that kind of raw pace and that raw strength to actually get past someone. Like you never really ever saw him go past someone. And in the Premier League, you have absolute physical specimens on every team, and then you have also good footballers as well. So like nearly the bare minimum to survive is just to be an incredible athlete at the moment, and that's what United are missing in general at the moment. Like we're being completely overrun in midfield in every game, mainly because we only have two in there and everyone else has three, but also physically in terms of aerobic ability as well. We're just not there. We're reliant on Casemiro, and then when Agarte comes in, and then Bruno, who's not really playing in his natural position. So it's an issue with the whole team, but particularly for wingers, if you're giving them the ball, you're not going up against an unathletic fullback anymore. There's absolute animals playing out there as well who can run. You know, there's a Dargu there that's eyeing you up as well. So it was just never really going to work. I think you just need to be of that kind of baseline of physical presence to actually survive in the Premier League when it comes to players on across the pitch, I suppose, but particularly in one-on-one battles, Kieran.
Yeah, absolutely. And, you know, he had his loan spell at Betis, did Antony, and got them, or was with the team as he made his way in towards the Europa League final. In fact, scored against Forest in one of the Europa League match days. Scored the equaliser, actually, on match day 1 of the Europa League. So there's clearly a player in there. And I like to think as well, not that there is less pressure, but it seems like the price tag no longer hanging over him. And sometimes, as you say, as a player, that's a huge amount of pressure to put on you, no matter the price tag. And the price tag is never your fault. But people are expecting, when it's 80 odd million pounds, they're expecting you to come in and be this finished product already. It's very rare, apart from if you're Manchester United, that you sign someone for more than 60, 70 million pounds that is not a finished product. So when you look at it that way, you can kind of see, if you're signing high price tag players, you're expecting them to be ready for the first team out and out. And I think the move for Antony was too early. But if he can knuckle down, have a couple of good seasons at Betis, I wouldn't be surprised to see him back in the Premier League again.
Yeah, potentially. I think I don't know if clubs would bother at this stage. I think he showed enough in the Premier League that I don't think if you look around the other clubs, would he get into any of those teams? Like, I mean, even looking at Bournemouth, for example, or a Newcastle, or like he's not getting into any of them. Like they're absolute animals of a team. You have the likes of Semenyo there, who's double the player of Antony, really. But it's just looking back at the price tags as well. I mean, we sold them permanent basis for a fee of £21.65 million. Like that is just a colossal loss. Like it's just business wise just horrendous.
I think there is a sell-on clause in that as well, I believe. Okay. So, but even so, it will not recoup unless he's worth, 100 million again. That's not going to recoup what we paid for him.
Yeah. Oh, I need to be 300 million to get anywhere near back to where we were. Like, but yeah, it's just another example of just signings not working out for us, and it's a different type of signing to we hired them past their prime. This one just completely just didn't work, similar to Sancho, and it's tough to take.
Well, I do see, I see your point about maybe Premier League teams won't go near him again. However, if he didn't work at Manchester United, then you know what that means. He's on the Chelsea shortlist. Watch this space. Give it 2-3 years.
And he's a winger, so he's definitely going to Chelsea. Yeah. They'd definitely be able to keep up with his wages anyway, so will be a good one. But that seems to be the only team we can actually get a result against at the minute.
Yeah, so, they need to be down to 10 men to do it.
Yeah, true. We'll leave that. But Sesko with his assist as well. That was also mentioned in the paragraph earlier.
I mean, so, assist is. I was going to say, assist is a strong word. It was certainly a red card assist, if that's even a thing. Look, if pre-assists exist in places like ice hockey, surely a red card assist is going to make its way through into the game at some point.
Yeah, the hockey assist is going to be there for for all of those that they're the XG lovers, I'm sure they'll love a hockey assist as well. So I'm sure there's plenty of people that can give us a few stats on that. Maybe United can add that into their brackets of appearances, hockey assists and assists. And we do need to score some goals to get some hockey assists, though. That is a tough one. That's a tough barrier to get over. But I'm sure we'll survive. But Kieran, we've got more episodes this week. I mean, I'm just sound so excited, but we've got
you dude
preview for the Sunderland game. I don't even want to talk about it, but we've got that coming up. We've then got Liverpool after. We might have a special episode as well. Kieran, do you want to give any clues around that? Or
what I will say, yeah, we're cooking at the moment. Yeah, won't say too much right now, but watch this space, that's for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, Kieran, we'll leave it there for this episode. Thank you very much for joining me. I'm sure we'll be casting our vote for September Player of the Month, and everyone's on tenterhooks waiting for the answer on that. So really looking forward to that. And we'll see you in the next one. And you can check us out at the social media channels that we have. Kieran has a lot of great clips there over the last few days of his scathing response to the Brentford game. Tom's in there as well. Nice raw reactions. So yeah, if you have any opinions at all, just keep them in the comments. So we like the conversation in there. It's going well, and we're growing those channels. So yeah, you'll find us across GSPN on TikTok and Instagram. And you can also watch us on YouTube as well. Watch these podcasts from start to finish and see Kieran's beautiful face smiling for the Sunderland game at the weekend. But anyway, Kieran, any final words?
To be honest, I saw Sunderland in the last game. They look all right. I'm scared.
Can't wait. Anyway, thank you very much for listening, and we will see you in the next one.
Your daily soccer podcast with the Global Sports Podcast Network.